Let's go. Let's go. Absolutely phenomenal morning, guys. Listen, when I tell you that some days are better than others, right? Some mornings are more phenomenal than others. And if you're not doing your part, then tomorrow will be like yesterday for you guys. Right? I just want to be honest. Like if you're not making sure that you do exactly what it means to set the stage for the best performance of your life and your business, then what you're doing is you're setting the stage for your tomorrow to be like yesterday. And we're moving into another year, guys. Like I promise you, like what I say and what I do is so extreme that if you take it seriously, it will literally add a zero to you. It will add a zero to your relationships. It'll add a zero to your communication. It'll add a zero to your influence, your ability to persuade, and your ability to lay down and really get a peaceful rest. Some people aren't sleeping good, Bobby. You know, some people wake up tired and groggy because they know they didn't perform to their highest degree possible. They know they didn't perform to their highest degree possible. So they're waking up like, what do I have to wake up to? Another lackluster performance. Another lackluster performance because you know yesterday you didn't set the stage. You didn't set the stage for the highest performance possible or success. Guys, listen, we want to help you to have the best life that you can possibly imagine. Light it up and leave people in the dust, man. Leave them in the dust. And the only way you're going to do that is by setting the stage for the best performance of your life. I don't know, Bobby. I'm just on something. I'm more fun today, man. Phenomenal morning, guys. This is the Breakfast with the Brand. I am your host, Sean Ryan East, as always, flanked by the phenomenal Bobby Jackson. Bobby, what you think about that intro, man?
Oh, my goodness. I feel it's like electric. It's I believe it was Billy Osbrooks who said, set yourself on fire and let the world see you burn.
Come on, man.
He was like, yeah, set yourself on fire. Just get after it. Set the stage ablaze. And then they'll come to see you. They want to see the spectacle. So
that's right.
I think that's a great way to think about it. Sometimes it's like, did you set the stage? Did you perform? Are you giving the people something to see? I think it was Kanye West who said, they're going to talk anyway, so I might as well give them something to say.
Come on, let's have some fun.
Give them something to say.
Let's have some fun, right? Guys, they're going to talk about you. That's a fact. Like if you build a business, if you do anything, matter of fact, you don't even have to do anything phenomenal for people to talk to you or talk about you. Look at it like an integer chart. If you're doing absolutely nothing and you're on zero, there are negative ones, negative twos, and negative threes that are going to talk about you. That's a fact. Now, the question that you have to ask yourself is, are you a negative one talking about somebody else? Are you a negative two talking about somebody else who's not really doing great? What do your goals look like, guys? Like, what do your goals look like? What are your motivations? What drives you in the morning? Like me, man, I'm up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, can't go back to sleep, have to get on the Peloton just to calm down. People get on a bike and start exercising to get hyped up. I get on a bike and exercise to get calmed down a little bit, toned down a little bit. Like, as you could tell, and listen, coffee drinking me right now. Coffee drinking me right now. I got a bottle of water next to me. It's just my energy, man. It's my passion. Passion because I have a purpose. Your passion, your energy should come because you have a purpose. If you're not lit, like Bobby said, on fire right now, you need to check that. You really need to check that and say, what is it about me? What is it about my temperature? What room am I in? Think of yourself as being in a room of your mind, a mindset, a mind state. You're in a room. And if you're not lit, if you're not excited, if you're not on fire, then you need to get out of that room, man. Yeah. You got to find yourself in a room that lights you up and pushes you to become a better you than you ever thought possible. Because you don't have to crawl on the floor. That's a fact. You can fly if you choose. You got wings. You got wings in your skin. The question is, will they bust out?
Will they bust?
Right now, I want to bring it down a little bit so you guys can catch up. Let me slow down so you guys can catch up. Bobby said something about lighting yourself on fire. I think we got an example of that. I think I got an example of that somewhere. Let me see if I have an example of that. I think it might be right here. Yeah, right here. Watch this, guys. Marketing like a leader. So marketing like a leader is teaching you the 5 P's of marketing: people, place. You got to know who you're selling to, and you got to know where you're selling to them. You got to know your product. If you don't understand your product, no one else will either. So you have to get clarity on that. Positioning. What is your positioning in the marketplace? What I like to say is that we help people go from the best kept secret to the only viable option. The only viable option. You need the number one positioning in your vertical. And then the fifth P is pricing. Oh, guys, what is your price? I always say to add a zero to your pricing. People come to me with $5,000 products. And I say, okay, that sounds good, but let's see if we can't add a zero to the back of it, make it $50,000, and then see what kind of value we need to put in there. So that's what we're going to teach you inside of Marketing Like a Leader, how to market yourself as a leader and take absolute ownership of the vertical. Click the link below and let's grow. I'll see you on the other side. Custom Model used to spit out numbers, and Mike Tyson would throw a combination and always knock out his enemy. When Mike Tyson lost Custom Model, he lost the title. Sean Rais is your Custom Model, your Tyson. What I'm gonna give you is a marketing system that's gonna knock your competition out. So the 501 marketing system is a combination: jab, 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 uppercut, hook. I'm gonna teach you how to give, surprise your ideal client, and then ask for the value that you're worth, and you're gonna get it every single time. I'm gonna teach you how to communicate in a crowded space in your client's language that's gonna slice through the noise in the market and touch their inner souls and make them open their wallets. It is said that marketing is helping your ideal client open their wallet and take their money out. I'm gonna show you how to do this in 5 simple steps. In brand clarity, exactly what you're gonna get is what it sounds like. Clarity for your brand. What is your color? What is your logo? What is your unique value proposition? Who are you speaking to? Why? How should you speak to them? How should I position myself? That's what you're gonna learn in brand clarity. You need other people to have the same clarity on your brand that you do. But this is the gap. If you don't have clarity on your brand, then no one else is gonna have clarity on your brand either. It's like messaging. Your message sounds clear to you, but is your end user receiving the value that you're trying to provide? I guarantee you that after you go through brand clarity, they will, and so will you. And that's how you'll scale your brand. All right, guys, so watch this. We got so much content that I can't even find the right video for that. Like that lighting yourself on fire, what I would say to do is go to YouTube. When this is over, if you have time, go to YouTube and find the video with the world on fire. You saw it, Bobby. I played it for you on the back end, but the world is on fire in back of you, and you need to be the phoenix. You need to be the phoenix in the story, the flaming bird that rises above the ashes and transforms. If you're not in that transformative process, this is why you're not winning, because you're in a transactional process. One or the other. You're trying to buy time. You're trying to buy time. And what you should be doing is sacrificing time so that you could buy a life.
Oh.
Yes. Listen, guys, I tell people all the time in my communities and my circles, I say you got to trade 4 figures for 5. You got to trade 5 figures for 6. You got to trade 6 figures for 7, and you got to trade 7 figures for 8. If that's a reality and that's the case, how much time do you think you have to allocate and sacrifice to move forward?
Man, I heard something yesterday, and the gentleman said, live like you're already dead. It's the only way you're going to make it. He said, live like you're already dead. He says people that want to come back, that's like, it's over for them. And they're looking over life, and they was just like, man, if I could come back, how would I hit it? If they gave me 24 hours and I had to get done everything that I could get done, what would I do? Who would I be? How would I be? And bro was just like, look like you're already dead. You do that, you'll be a monster. You'll be
Wow,
able
that's
to,
amazing. That's an
yes.
amazing philosophy. I love that. I love that. Live like you lost your life and you came back for one day and had a shot at it.
One shot.
See, people live lazy, lackluster, loveless lives. Lazy, lackluster, and loveless. Right? I hit it because I have people who I love. The first one being my wife. Where's my wife right now? Resting comfortably. Why? Because I've created the stage. I set the stage for her to be able to do that because I love her. My children, I'm teaching them how to hit it and kill it like veterans of war.
Yeah.
Literally. My children have to be producers. They have to be producers. So I'm teaching them I'm lighting their torch with the same fire I have because I love them. And their job is to be productive. Their job isn't just to be in my light, be warmed by my light, because what happens when my light goes out? What happens when my light goes out? They're going to die? They're going to freeze? No. They're going to go to somebody else with the light? No, it's my job to ignite the passion, fire, ferocity, and fervor inside of them so that they can keep the flame alive.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, you got to ask yourself, like, what is my passion, my purpose, and who are the people that I'm trying to help? If you don't have those three things, you'll never be profitable. Never. People say, I want money. You don't need money. Money's the last thing you need because it's going to feed the lifestyle that you have now. You need the kind of money that's going to put a turbine booster behind you because that's the kind of life that you live. I tell people all the time, I say, Bobby, they become a millionaire. If you don't become a millionaire, you'll never be a millionaire. You got to become a millionaire before you get $1 million. The money has to play catch up. The money plays catch up.
Yeah.
Money's not going to come where people are lazy and stagnant and not doing what they need to do and not making investments. Money likes to move. Money likes energy. Money likes ferocity. Money likes investments. Money likes to be put to use, to be utilized. If you're not utilizing your life, what good are you going to do with money?
I think you said yesterday, people want what it looks like, but they don't want what it feels like.
Of course.
Oh my goodness. That's how I feel right now. You know, as we close out the year, as we get into the talking guns of the holidays, if y'all was here yesterday, you know what I mean. You know, from October to February, you're going to be under fire as an entrepreneur with all the holidays. But what came to my mind when we talk about money plays catch up, it's almost like Bob Proctor, he put it like this. He said, I have a dollar bill. It was like a $20 bill. He says, you see this money, right? And they said, yeah, I see the money. And he says, what is money? Like, what is money? And then he took a lighter and he lit the dollar bill on fire. And then the dollar was gone. And he was like, what happened to the money? Is the dollar still a dollar? Is the money still money? Like, what's up? And he pretty much said that there's levels of vision. There's levels of vision. And he was like, most people want to see the money without being the money. And he was like, money's still here. Like, I just set it on fire. It changed a property state. It changed states. And what most people don't understand is that money acts a lot like water. Water has 3 states that we're most familiar with, right? We know evaporation, condensation, precipitation. But we're going to make it even simpler for ourselves. Solid, liquid, gas. Water can be in all 3 of those states. So when you think about money, the gaseous aspect of that is you. You have to be gaseous, meaning, so gas moves fast. That's the property of gas. That's why you can't see it. But when you condense it and you put it into certain environments for extended periods of time, it changes its state. So if it's in very cold temperatures, then it starts to condensate. It turns into droplets. If it's in freezing temperatures, then it turns into a solid. So sometimes we might, be, man, you got to, I hope this is making sense to you guys. Like,
it's making a lot of sense, Bobby. It's making a lot of sense. Let's go.
So for me, I'll talk about my process. Branded Like a Leader 1.0 for me was the fire, it was the heat, it was the energy that I needed to heat me up. It heated me up to a point that my particles were moving fast enough for me to shift states. So I was in a liquid state, meaning I was flowing in my regular job. I was going with the flow. I needed something to heat me up. I needed something to change my state. So I got into Branded Like a Leader. I got into the community. And what happened was I became more valuable because I got heated up. And once I got heated up, I needed to then get put into pressure situations. So then my coach was saying, hey, you made this investment. Cool, great. You need to make this one. So what he was doing was he was lowering the temperature. So as he lowered the temperature, it caused my particles to be under pressure. So the more pressure that was on the particles, and anybody that knows this, when water turns to a solid, it expands by 10%. So if you put water into something, the energy of the ice expands it. So it explodes. So the more pressure that you put on the water, the more expansive it gets. And what many of us want from our lives, we want we want the explosion. Like we want
the expansion. We want the expansion. We want the growth, but we don't want the pressure.
But we don't want the pressure. We don't want the ice. We don't want the cold water. We don't want
to it's uncomfortable.
Like this. And that's what it takes. It takes that, 32 degrees like Celsius or something like that, 0 degrees Celsius. I don't know. But
32. You're right. 32. Come on, let's go.
Once you get to freezing temperatures, you just got to stay there long enough for you to convert. And once you go from gas to liquid, flowing to freezing, and then you get the result. And guess what? You got to get heated back up. So
that's right.
Go through the process again.
Seasons.
Yep. So that's the way I see it.
That's a beautiful, brother. You just gave a phenomenal analogy. LaWanna Bradford on Facebook just says that you can only see the vibration you are in. What state are you in? Like, what state are you in? As you're listening to this, how did I just impact you? Like, a lot of people came and left. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of people came in because I see them coming in. They came in. They was like, oh my God, that's too much energy in the morning. I'm out of here. I'm ready to go back to sleep. I'm ready to hit the snooze button. I get it, guys. I was telling somebody yesterday, like, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I don't want to be. I don't want to be everybody's cup of tea because that's a problem. When you settle, like, I can't be around people who settle. Like, that doesn't work. It's not my equilibrium. That's not my base temperature. Like, I can't be around that. People come with complaints and doubts and fears and all that stuff. It's like, okay, we're going to break through that real quick, or we're going to have to part ways because everything around me is lit. Everything around me is on fire. It stays in pressure. Why? Because I need you to transform fast enough to keep up, or you're going to feel bad. Listen to me very clear, very, very carefully and very clearly. I'm going to need you to disrupt yourself and recreate yourself fast over and over again so that you can catch up. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is we're going to be on calls in the community and you're going to see me traveling around the world. In the community, you're going to see me traveling around the world and be like, I'm not moving. I'm stuck. I'm at home. He always got this energy. Like, he always got this passion and this energy. Like, he's always excited. He's always talking about money. Like, he's always talking about money and gain and help and, building people up and, breaking through barriers and limiting beliefs and changing the world. This is what he's talking about. And I'm not changing at all. Let me tell you this, guys. Change is a choice. Change is a choice. Water finds its level. So you choose to stay or you choose to leave. But if you stay, expansion is guaranteed. It's guaranteed. That's why I say everything we do is evidence-based. You can't stay and not transform. All you got to do is keep coming. If you keep coming to this call, your mind will change. Your goals will change. I promise you, your goals will change. The goals that you set in 2024 will not, or 2023. I'm already in 2027, brother. Like, I'm already in 2027. So let me slow down a little bit and help you guys who are still here. Listen, your goals in 2023 will not be your goals in 2024. And the goals you set in 2024 will not be the goals that you set in 2025. If you stick around people like myself, you will not be able to stay the same. You will have to leave my company or you'll have to grow. There is no choice in that matter. I stay in a changed state and the people around me must keep up. I want you to travel. I want you to travel the world. I want you to travel the world. I want you to fly in first class. I want you to start talking about money. I want you to change your attire to match your desire. I want you to start having massive impact. I want you to do a podcast every single day because you just got so much energy to light the world on fire that you know you're not losing anything. People are so funny, Bobby. They say, well, what if I give them everything? If you give them everything, then you ain't got nothing to give. If there's a chance, listen, if there's a chance that you could possibly give everybody that which is inexhaustible, which is energy, because it just stays in a transformative state. If you could possibly give everybody what you have to give and have no more to give, you ain't got nothing to give. You need to go get your cup full. You need to go get your cup full before you start pouring out. Man. But listen to this. If you start allowing the energies that truly exist to use you as a conduit, you'll find that the energy and the value that you have to give is inexhaustible, and you'll never run out. And then you'll find your value, and then you'll find your ideal clients, and then you'll find a phenomenal life. Because listen, the purpose of life is to be of use, not to be a user and not to be used. The purpose of life is to be of use and become a conduit and flow in harmony with the energies that exist in the universe, so that you don't become a storehouse or someone who tries to block the blessing. I know it's a little deep, so I'm gonna take another break and let you guys kind of like decompress and just take in what I just said and let that sit for a moment. Let's grow. From Harriet Tubman to Sojourner Truth to Rosa Parks, we have always been on a freedom run. Your LLC, your S Corp, C Corp, your business entity is what's going to give you the ability to go from your job, your industry wages, your 9 to 5, to the life of your dreams and the dream of your life. This is about you attaining all of the things that you could only possibly imagine and that our ancestors saw as not even being possible. Your freedom run? This is your freedom run. This is your moment. We're going to show you how to establish yourself as a business entity so you can go and come as you choose. There was a time when we needed permission slips to go from plantation to plantation. When you get a little bit older, you need permission slips to go from class to class. And when you get a little bit older, you get a vacation for 2 weeks, and then you have to come back after 2 weeks to your job, right? That's what they call it now, the 9 to 5, the gig. You might you work for 50 weeks and you get 2 off. The freedom run is when you establish your LLC and you're free for the rest of your life. I said Sean Ra'is. I'm proud. That's Sean Ra'is. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes. Write this down and underline it, guys. Write this down and underline it. More for free than you get for a fee. This is the motto of the Breakfast with the Brand. This is the purpose. If there was a mission statement for this podcast, it would be to give you more for free than you get for a fee. And to prove that we can help you by actually helping you. To earn your trust by earning your trust. Now just imagine if you had this kind of value 5 hours a day or on demand, where you could just say, you know what, I need to learn, I need to get lit like this when it comes to sales. Just imagine what a sales training would look like. Like for real. Like we just talking about morning stuff. We just talking about regular stuff. Bobby talking about the precipitation. We just talking about regular stuff, guys. Imagine if we were to hone in and condense the pressure and focus on sales and what that would look like for your business. Or hone in, bring it all together, like condense it all, concentrate the energy, concentrate it, and just focus it on marketing.
Game changer. Absolute game changer.
400%. Look at Bobby. Look at his numbers. Look at the expansion.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers speak for what the numbers speak for. I don't have to say it anymore. People
Absolutely.
talk. People talk. You don't want to be a talker, guys. You don't want your business. You don't want to be around people who talk. You want to be around the walk. You want to know what it feels like. I was speaking to somebody yesterday, Bobby. You know, we were on a call in the Branded Like a Leader Academy. Woman said she listens to the stuff that we give, like the Branded Like a Leader course, and she goes to sleep. She's like, it's too much. Like I gotta go to sleep. Like, I gotta knock out. But that's good rest.
Yeah.
That's really good rest. And you know what I said? I said that's great. I said go to sleep, let it marinate subconsciously, and wake up and go through it again.
Mm-hmm.
And wake up and go through it again, and go through it again. Because what's going to happen is you're literally going through that transformative state. You're literally going through that transformative state of liquid to gas to solid, liquid to gas to solid, liquid to gas to solid. And what happens is you become value. You become massive value. And the things that you begin to say begin to make business sense. There's a difference between common sense and business sense.
Ooh.
Oh, yes, there's a difference between common sense and uncommon sense. You don't want to be like everybody around you, guys. Like if you think about, like, measure, weigh your conversations. People spend hours on the phone. I want you to weigh that conversation. As a matter of fact, listen, weigh your relationships. Put them on a scale and weigh them. The last person that you spent time talking to, weigh the value of that time that was spent, because if it's not value, neither are you.
We coming this morning.
You got to change your state. You got to change your state.
Yes.
You got to change your state. That's the thing about freedom. Like, we have the freedom to move and be around who we want to. We got the freedom to pick up the book and read what we want to. We got the freedom to do these things.
Right.
There's a first class seat on every plane. There's a first class seat on every plane. So to fly in the middle of the plane is a choice. To fly in the back of the plane is a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, this makes me think about just your brain, how it's structured. I'm trying to think of a good entry point for this conversation. So I remember being in the military, and I remember 3 distinct evolutions. I remember going from what you call a recruit to a Marine. So I'm no longer a civilian, but I'm an actual Marine. I remember going from a junior enlisted Marine to becoming a non-commissioned officer. So now I am non-commissioned. I'm an E4. And then I remember going from non-commissioned officer to staff non-commissioned officer. And now I'm a staff member I'm senior enlisted, so to speak, or I'm a part of that staff chamber. And what's interesting is that you rewire your brain, I think, or at least that's the process of evolution. So I wanted to use that example because I'm going to tie in something that I think we just overlook, or at least we take it for granted. Our guy, Charles Darwin. Many don't, some know about him, some don't. So Charles Darwin is and was known for the theory of evolution. So he gave us the theory of evolution. And what this simply means is that things adapt over time. They grow and they evolve based on their environment. And he says that these don't happen
Powerful.
instantly. So how he began to actually develop this theory was that he went on a voyage. His dad wanted him to be a scientist, but he didn't have the discipline for it. So his dad said, "We're going to put you in seminary. You're going to be a pastor." He was like, "I don't really want to be a person." Like, this was back when they had, "Hey, you come from this bloodline. This is what you're going to do. Your parents told you who you would be." He was like, "No, I'm not doing that." So he said, "I want to be a biologist and I'm going to go sail on the ocean, right, with these people." So this is very important because this is how he came to this understanding. And you might be at that place in your life right now where you're doing what someone told you you were supposed to be doing. Like you're in a career that someone said you were cut out for. You're in a career that maybe your parents were in that they might have pushed you in, and you're in the process of breaking out. So what Darwin did is he was on this voyage and he went to this island. And when he went to this island, he saw turtles. And he was like, this species of turtle shouldn't be here. And then he went to another island and he saw another species of turtle. He was like, I thought this species of turtle was this species of turtle. Long story short, he went to like 15 different islands and he saw 15 different species of turtle. And what he learned was that these turtles adapted to their environment. Some were snapping turtles. Their shells camouflaged with the environment so that they could survive. So all of the different things that he learned about life was that life is extremely adaptable. And evolution is the byproduct of adaptation. And that's where he came up with the theory of evolution. And that's where we get what our consciousness is. So consciousness is our ability to look present and past and future. This came from the evolution of the eye. So we were hunter-gatherers. And hunter-gatherers were very small.
Can somebody just I'm sorry, Bobby. Hold on. Can somebody, because Bobby getting deep right now, because somebody put a 7 in the chat? Like for real. Like somebody just put a 7 in the chat. If you're watching this later, just put a 7 in the comments, #replay squad, because I promise you, Bobby, go right ahead, man. Just put some 7s in the chat if you guys are understanding what he's talking about and appreciating the value that you're getting this morning. Go right ahead, sir. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I just have to acknowledge greatness when I hear it. So go right ahead.
Thank you all too. I can see them coming in. So the eye, the evolution of the eye, and all of this is going to tie back to your personal evolution. Like that's why I'm laying this out for you. So you have confidence in the process. So our process of our consciousness as we know it today came from the evolution of the eye to a degree. So pretty much human beings are separate from all the other mammals. We became the ultimate predator because we have eyes that look forward, and our predator or our prey has eyes on the side of their heads. So that means they can see things very peripherally, but they cannot see things, say, consistently. And they did not train their minds. So here are the two things that distinct us that make us the kings of the world, the top predator. We have two distinct abilities. One is the ability to focus, and the second is the ability to look at things in real time. So the human eye evolved from trees where we started out. We had to have eyes to swing from branch to branch. Once we evolved from being in trees, we went to plains. Once we were in the open plain and we had to hunt like water buffalo and whatnot, they were so much bigger than us. So what did we have to learn how to do? We had to learn to focus and study. And this is how the evolution of the eye developed. So we would look and we would say, okay, this mammal grazes for about this long. And then we would come back to that same place. Hear me. This is evolution every day. And we will look for patterns. And what we developed was we developed the ability to see something, recognize the pattern, and then we were able to go ahead in the future, and we were able to go into the past because we could say, I saw this before. And we could say, well, if the pattern is consistent, I can predict what's going to happen in the future. All of this is evolution. And this took a very long time. So what I want to say, the reason I gave you guys all of this, Charles Darwin, everything about him being the godfather of evolution, the theory of this, is that you're in a process right now, ladies and gentlemen. And the process is this. I wrote it down like this. You won't die, you will fly. So what I'm saying is that the brain is structured to adapt and evolve and survive. That's how it's designed. So if you put yourself in positions where you feel like you're about to die, that's when your brain is the absolute most effective, believe it or not. It was evolved under those constraints. And that's what Charles Darwin brought to our knowledge and to our understanding about consciousness and present states and just the evolution of humanity. So you will fly because your brain will adapt. Like that's what it does. It's designed that way. And if you trust your brain's phenomenal, like trillions of neurons doing things that we have no idea, trust it. Like you won't fail. Like you won't.
Wow. Sometimes I'm speechless, right? I promise you. Very few occasions do I become speechless. But when I hear someone, distill truth so eloquently and explain the transformation process in a way that's evidence-based, also being themselves a product of it and a producer of it, it makes a lot of sense. And it makes the person who hears it kind of light up with joy if they have any part to play in it. So I'm excited right now because you guys are not only going through a transformative state, but you're also witnessing multiple transformative states at the same time. And the best part about it is we didn't charge you for this. That's the best part about it. And that's what I mean when I say more for free than you get for a fee. You could spend 2 years going to get a master's degree. And maybe that'll help you get a 10K, 20K bump. But if you take what was just given to you in an abstract form and distill it into a concentrated, applicable form and apply it to your life and your business, then it's infinite return. It's infinite return. And you can take that same 20, 30K or whatever you'll get with a master's degree and add 10 zeros behind it. Over and over and over and over and over and over again. As a matter of fact, that's what I mean when I say you become massive value. You can't help but to. You can't help but to. Let me say this before we go to a break, right? He said ultimate predator. Apex. Apex is another word for it. He said focus, and the word that came to my mind was concentration, because that's the least, that's what people focus, that's what people say there is their biggest complaint and the least place their discipline is. The ability to focus. And let me tell you guys what this can become. This can become a source of massive distraction. This can become the focal point and the reasoning behind your inability to concentrate and focus. And when you can't concentrate and focus, you go from being the most effective predator to the least effective predator. As a matter of fact, you become prey. As a matter of fact, you become prey for those who are predators, and for those who can focus, and for those who can concentrate. And this is why I say most of my clients come to me saying, hey, Sean, I've been in 10 courses. Hey, Sean, I've had 5 coaches. I've spent almost $1 million. I spent $250,000 in the last 3 years trying to figure out this business thing. I've been in this course, this course, this course, this course. I've been with them, and them. And it's not working. It's not working for me. And let me tell you something. It's not working for you because you're not working. Let me just be honest, because there is someone in all of those communities that are crushing it right now. There's someone in all of those communities that are crushing it right now. I don't say choose Sean Rais over this one or choose Sean Rais over that one. I say choose one. Just choose one. Just choose one and dedicate your focus. Dedicate the next. You know what an internship was? An apprenticeship was? Like if a person wanted to become a blacksmith, the father of the child, if I didn't have the transferable skill, then I would take my son to Bobby because Bobby was a blacksmith. And a blacksmith can produce for their families. So if I don't have the skill, I would take my son as soon as he's 9 or 10 to Bobby and say, listen, Bobby, I need you to train my son for the next 5 years. Don't pay him anything. I'll pay you to transfer the skill to my son so the trajectory of my legacy can change and become one that's productive. I want you to take the statement I just said and weigh that. We'll be right back. This is The Breakfast with the Brand. It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just a very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. I don't talk theory. I don't talk hyperbole. I don't talk opinion. Nothing I talk is anything but evidence-based.
During the G-Circle retreat in Atlanta, I had the pleasure and the honor of listening to Mr. Sean Rais. He will not only impact your organization, but he will elevate your team to another level.
When you change you, when you put you into the equation, the whole system is different. I guarantee you, you got the right thing. You are the right person. If you can present yourself in the best way possible, there's no negotiation.
His energy is infectious, and I have so many takeaways from the presentation that I can't wait to get started and implement them today to see the result.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Mhm.
Garbage in, garbage out. That's a computation term. That's a computation. Like that's literally like writing code. Garbage in, garbage out. It's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing. If you're not crushing it right now, look around you. If you're not crushing it right now, look around you. There's a chance. There's a very high chance of probability that if you're not crushing it, the people around you aren't crushing it either. And you want to put yourself, you want to take yourself out of that septic tank. Google that. You want to take yourself out of that septic tank and put yourself in an incubator where people are crushing it, where people are living their best lives, where people are crushing goals to the highest degree possible, where people are experiencing 200, 500, 700 revenue growth and scale. Not just in their business and in their revenue, but in their relationships and in their health. People are gaining traction and losing weight. People are becoming healthier. Their skin is becoming clearer. They're becoming more focused and concentrated. They get to see clearer. Like you can go from 2010 to 2020 vision, but you can't do it in the wrong environment around the wrong influences. You will not evolve. As a matter of fact, in the wrong environment, you will devolve.
Yes.
Yes, the process of devolution. You'll spend money and make no money back.
Yeah.
You'll spend money and lose relationships and lose concentration skills, lose communication skills. This is a fact. You know, and this is why they say, like, this is why people always ask, why does this happen? Why does this? This is why. If you come from a certain school, you get a certain pay grade and a certain job. So watch this. Let me say it to you this way in layman's terms so everybody can understand. Deloitte doesn't go to a community college to hire the creme de la creme of MBAs. They go to Ivy League schools because they know the pressure of the environment is such that if you come out of this Ivy League school, you are a diamond. You can be constant, you can be trusted. You can be trusted to transmit light. That's what diamonds are used for, like photons. They're used to absorb light and then give light inside of reactors. Literally, diamonds are used to absorb light or pressure and then transmit and give it off. So Deloitte knows. Deloitte is one of the highest consulting firms in the world. So Deloitte knows that if they take an Ivy League student who's been crushed like a diamond and withstood the pressure, that if they put the light or the energy or the knowledge and the resources and the power to change lives and organizations and businesses in this diamond, then they can absorb the light and emit it at a certain power, to a certain power. They can transmit the light to the 10th power and beyond. So I want to ask you, like, and when I hear Bobby speak, sometimes I can see that effect of him being able to take the pressure and the light and being able to absorb it, withstand it himself, and also transmit it to the 9th and 10th power. The question is, are you in that kind of transformative environment? And if you're not, you don't know what life is. You really don't. Like, you don't know what being tired is. You don't know what, like, we go to a place where fatigue becomes energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's transmutable. But what would put most people to sleep livens us up and makes us excited. And the point of no return for a lot of people is like, no. When you hear no, when somebody says, no, I'm not buying, I'm not interested, thank you very much, you stop selling. It crushes something inside of you. You break and you feel less confidence. The right diamond hears no and feels more confidence because they know how to handle the objection and negotiate terms and turn the no into yes. And that's a transformative situation. But to be the creator of transformative situations, you have to be in a transformative environment. So I want to ask you right now, 2 questions. And I want you to take this with you for the last day of November, because that's what this is. The last day of November. We're entering into December. You got 1 more month. That's it. 2023 is over. It will never come back. You got 1 more month. First question. Are you a creator of circumstance or are you a creature of circumstance? And when you think of the word creature, I want it to appear in your mind as grotesque as it sounds. Are you a creator of circumstance or are you a creature of circumstance? Number 2, have you scared yourself yet today? Have you brought yourself to a transformative brink? And have you scared yourself today? And if not, what will you do through the rest of the day to scare yourself to death so that you might come to life? Because there's a reason behind this question. I want you to think of a caterpillar. The caterpillar's purpose on the planet is basically to eat leaves. That's all it does. It just eats leaves. It just devours leaves. If you ever watch a caterpillar, all it will do is climb trees and devour leaves, devour leaves, devour leaves. That's all it does. And then all of a sudden, something takes place inside of it. And I want you to think of the thinking. I want you to think of the thinking of this caterpillar whose purpose in life was just to eat leaves, eat leaves, eat leaves, eat leaves. That was their life. They woke up with a blueprint, an operating code. The operating code said, eat leaf, eat leaf. And all they did was eat leaves, eat leaves, eat leaves. And then something tells them to hang upside down, and things start happening in their body. Think of how confused they must be when they start to go into a cocoon state, when that starts happening inside, internally. The process of transformation makes the least sense as it begins to occur. It makes the least sense. So you might be in an environment where it's not making a lot of sense right now. You might hear the words we're saying and it might not be making a lot of sense right now. You might hear the energy, the passion, the fervor. You might see the prices. You might hear prices on the phone and it might not make sense to you. It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to, because you're going somewhere you've never been before. That's why you don't know the directions. That's why you can't infer space and time, because you've never been there before. Listen, I found this tremendously valuable today. I hope you have as well. I really do. Are you a creature of circumstance, or are you a creator of circumstance? And what will you do to transform yourself and scare yourself to death so that you might come to life?
You know, now I'm speechless. I've been sitting here writing the questions, taking the notes, and just thinking about what this process has been like for me, you know, because I was the caterpillar not too long ago. I mean, I still feel like I'm definitely in the cocoon state, transforming and evolving and developing. And I think it's just a series of that. But one thing that I've grown to appreciate is, because I just want to give you guys one more thing. I'm trying to figure out where it's going to come from, but I'm going to just flow with it. Here's what comes to mind. People. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Like, the people that are watching you evolve very rarely understand, one, why you will put yourself through it.
That's right.
Two, why you're even doing it. And three, why they didn't have a say. And the number three is hard to swallow sometimes, because we live in a culture today where everybody feels like someone stole something from them. So when they have something, they feel entitled. Like everybody feels like someone's took something from them. So when you are in a relationship with somebody, it's like all types of insecurities come up. It's like, yo, you owe me this. You should give this to me. You're mine. And that possessiveness can really affect your evolution. So I'm not telling you to cut off your loved ones. I just want to put this out there, because this, I think, is one of the hardest things that I struggle with, because I'm a husband and I'm a father, and I was going through a process that I did not understand. So I had no way of articulating to my loved ones what they were about to experience. So when we talk about leadership, you need that. When I talk about brand, like, you got, like, brand authenticity is so much more than just for the marketplace. Like, I had to become the brand that my family could trust, because the actions that I was engaging in, like, if I can just be transparent, people may lose confidence in you. They may lose confidence in you because you don't know what you're doing, and you're trusting someone that you might not have a long relationship with. Like for me, it's like, I met Sean. I saw what Sean was doing. I didn't know Sean from Tom. But in the reality of things is, I knew Sean appeared to have the results that I wanted. And your family sometimes, and your friends sometimes, and people that knew the old you sometimes, can have everything to say about your Sherpa, about the person getting you to where you're trying to go. So I'm not going to go too much further into this. I just want you guys to know, like, grab a hold, like Sean said this morning, like, choose. And when you choose, just don't let go. Like, just lock in, hold on, don't let go. And as they talk, let them talk. As you are confused, take the next step. As the process, the pressure, like, increases, know that you won't give up. And when you feel like giving up, like, Don't. You know, just do your best to stay in it, man. And I think that's the best.
We gonna go.
Energy I could give.
We gonna go, guys. But I just want you to just take what Bobby said and apply it to the caterpillar. What if the caterpillar refused to submit to the process?
Yeah.
We never see butterflies. We never see butterflies because they'd say, you know what? I'm not doing this. I don't trust it. I'm going to go back to being a caterpillar. I'm going to break. I'm going to die. That's what would happen if they tried to stay in the cocoon. They would die. They would literally die. So I want to ask you now before we go. We're done. But let's watch this. Are you flying or are you dying?